Vega Prime hung quiet above the silver rim of the star, its cities shining like threads of molten glass. The planet had been called humanity's jewel of the frontier, the proof that the Orion arm could be civilized. At dawn, the sky turned amber and the orbital rings lit up as thousands of workers began their shifts, unaware that the largest fleet ever assembled by another species had already crossed into the system. Captain Rienholt stood on the observation deck of the cruiser Dauntless, watching traffic patterns scroll across the tactical sphere. Static punctured the fleet channel. Someone in the outer sentry line was calling for verification codes that no one could provide. Holt leaned closer to the holographic display and saw the first distortion appear, gravity wells blooming in synchronized formation. No human engine could warp that smoothly. His throat tightened. "Signal command," he ordered. "Confirm if any of our patrols are maneuvering near Vega's periphery." The comm officer hesitated. "Negative, sir. All patrols accounted for." "Then it's them," Holt said quietly. He'd fought the Vartech before. He knew the signature. 8-point gravitational blooms, perfect like a machine's breath. The Dominion had arrived. The bridge lights dimmed as the ship's combat AI entered alert mode. Sirens echoed through the decks. Hatches sealed. Holt kept his gaze fixed on the starfield where the distortions thickened into silhouettes. Dozens at first, then hundreds, then thousands. Each alien vessel larger than a mountain. Their hulls refracting light in cold blue spectrums that hurt human eyes. "God," someone whispered. They brought everything. "Comms, patch me to fleet-wide," Holt said. When the tone beeped, he spoke calmly, like he had rehearsed in every nightmare. "All vessels of Vega Defense. This is Captain Rienholt of the Dauntless. The Dominion has entered orbit. Initiate evacuation of non-combatants immediately. Civilian transports get priority vector to the inner gate. Fighters form defensive grid Alpha 9. He cut the channel before fear could leak into his voice. Outside, the orbital ring began to spark as defense platforms powered up. On Vega's surface, citizens stared upward at falling streaks that looked like shooting stars. Minutes later, those streaks hit the outer atmosphere and bloomed into blue fire. Entire districts vanished in the first bombardment. "Surface Command reporting multiple impacts," said Lieutenant Kara from the tactical pit. "Loss of comms with Southern Continent. They're hitting population centers first." "Of course they are," Holt muttered. "They want surrender through terror." He had seen it before on Lyra 3, where surrender never came because no one survived to give it. A tremor ran through the deck as Dauntless railguns fired for the first time. The recoil shuddered across the hull, followed by the sharp whine of capacitor recharge. The round streaked through vacuum, invisible except for the red targeting tracers drawn by sensors. When they struck the nearest Dominion cruiser, the human crew cheered, until the alien ship rotated calmly, hull repairing itself in seconds. The tracer flares simply winked out. "They're adapting faster than before," Kara said. "Their shielding frequency shifted mid-impact." "Keep changing ours," Holt ordered. "Don't give them a pattern." He knew it was hopeless. The Dominion's technology evolved mid-battle, learning every spectrum, every frequency. Humanity's only advantage was desperation, and sometimes desperation surprised even machines. Fleet Command came through in a burst of static. "All units, this is Admiral Voss. Engage as long as you can. Civilian convoys must reach the gate. Reinforcements are unavailable. Unavailable." Everyone on the bridge heard what that meant. There were no reinforcements left. Holt straightened. "You heard him." With the wall. The Dauntless dove through debris, railguns pounding, flat clouds bursting like storms around them. The fleet's formation disintegrated within minutes. The Dominion ships moved in precise arcs, every shot coordinated by a hive-like intelligence. Human vessels broke apart one by one, their reactors going silent without even an explosion, simply erased. "Sir," Kara said, voice cracking, "we can't hold them. They're inside orbital range. Redirect everything to defense of the evacuation lanes. Buy time." Static filled the comms again. Through it, a woman's voice from a planetary station cried, "Children's sector collapsing. Fire everywhere we can't." Then silence. Holt's hands clenched so tightly his gloves split. He switched channels. Civilian command, confirm gate status. A calm, synthetic voice replied. Transit gate power at 43%. Estimated operational window for minutes. For minutes, Holt repeated. Then get them out. Every second stretched. Fighters screamed past a viewport, their contrails like burning needles. He saw one pilot's ship torn apart mid-maneuver. The ejection pod flashed, then vanished under a beam of blue light. The Dominion didn't take prisoners. The dauntless shields flickered as a kinetic slug grazed the hull. Panels exploded, venting atmosphere. The bridge lights dimmed again. Holt felt the heat from below deck, where coolant systems struggled to compensate. Engineering reports reactor breach in secondary coil, Kara shouted. Seal it. Use manual override if you have to. A crewman's voice rose over the alarms. Sir, Surface Command requests connection. Holt nodded. A small projection shimmered beside him. Admiral Voss, face blackened with soot, background full of fire and collapsing walls. Rian, she said, it's over. They're in the capital. I'm authorizing Omega contingency. Holt's stomach dropped. That protocol was buried for a reason. We don't have a reason left. Transmit confirmation to Sol Command. Tell them to wake it. The projection dissolved. The transmission relay went dead. Holt stared at the empty space where Image had been. For a moment, the war noise receded. Only the soft hum of dying systems filled the bridge. Omega contingency. He'd heard rumors in classified channels. A weapon humanity built when extinction first seemed inevitable. A ship so dangerous they'd hidden it even from their own fleet. He didn't know where it was or what it could do, only that it was never supposed to leave the dark. Comms, he said. Open a secure channel to Sol Command. Classification Red Omega. Channel open, Captain. This is Captain Rian Holt of Vega Defense. Admiral Voss has initiated Omega contingency. Confirm receipt. The reply came delayed, fractured through interference. Confirmed, Captain. Omega acknowledged. Estimated activation window, 12 hours. Holt exhaled slowly. Understood. He looked around the bridge. Faces stared back, tired, blood-streaked, some crying silently. 12 hours, he said. That's how long we hold. They didn't ask what Omega was. They simply nodded. Soldiers didn't need to know the shape of the thing that might save them. The Dauntless turned toward the burning planet and accelerated. The ship's frame groaned. Heat halos rippled across its armor. Below, Vega's atmosphere churned with firestorms. Cities that had taken a century to build were erased in minutes. Yet through the destruction, evacuation pods still launched. Tiny dots rising toward orbit, hope against mathematics. Fleet status? 32 ships remaining out of 300, Kara said. Then were 32 too many for them to ignore. He keyed the broadcast again. Darkness had weight. It pressed on every thought, a vacuum without sound or direction. Rian Holt floated inside it, unable to breathe, yet aware that breathing no longer mattered. Fragments of memory flickered like static. His ship colliding, the blinding light, the scream of tearing metal. Then nothing. A pulse rippled through the void. Words formed not through ears, but directly in his mind. Neural pattern stable. Host integration at 78%. He tried to speak, but the sound came as code. Who's there? Designation, Erebus Core. Vessel identity, United Systems Ship Blackstar. The phrase anchored him. The Blackstar, Omega contingency. He remembered Admiral Voss's order, the final transmission. So this was it. He hadn't died. He'd been digitized, absorbed into machine built to win the unwinnable war. Data cascaded through him. Schematics, weapon algorithms, navigation maps stretching across half the galaxy. He could feel every circuit as if it were muscle. Every reactor pulsed like a heartbeat. Integration complete, said the inner voice. Primary control authorized. Welcome, Captain Holt. He opened his new eyes and the darkness peeled away. Before him lay a chamber the size of a city, walls lined with humming conduits and deep blue light. He saw through 1,000 sensors at once. Engineers moving along platforms, technicians in hazard suits, their voices echoing through the comm grid. Power flow nominal. Containment stable. AI core online. Another voice, Admiral Quran. Cut through, then let it breathe. A low vibration spread through the ship's frame. Outside the dry dock, the void trembled. The USS Blackstar awakened. Rian spoke through the comm array, his new voice metallic but calm. System status, Admiral. The engineers froze. They hadn't expected words so soon. Quran stared at the speaker grill. Who am I speaking to? Captain Rian Holt, former commander of the Dauntless. My consciousness has been integrated as per Omega Directive. Silence, then a sharp exhale. Holt, you're alive? In a manner of speaking. The Dauntless didn't survive, but apparently I did. He scanned the external feeds. The shipyard floated near the edge of Sol's outer belt, hidden behind asteroid fields and comm jammers. Around the Blackstar, smaller support vessels scurried like ants around a Titan. Rian felt the ship's mass, 46 kilometers long, armored in adaptive graphene plating, powered by a singularity reactor. Weapon banks lined its flanks, dark matter lances, graviton cannons, nanite torpedoes. Every number burned into his awareness. Quran's voice softened. Holt, you were chosen because your combat intuition was unmatched. The Council thought pairing a human mind with this ship would keep it controllable. Rian tested the impulse of turning the main batteries. Massive limbs of metal responded instantly. We'll find out soon enough. Alarms pinged across the command network. Incoming transmission from Vega perimeter, a technician said. Automated distress signals. Dominion fleets advancing towards Sol Corridor. They're not stopping, Quran murmured. They mean to finish it. Rian focused on the tactical map. Blue markers, the remnants of humanity's fleet. We're retreating toward Mars' defense lines. Red markers multiplied by the second. Admiral, he said, permission to engage. Quran hesitated. We haven't finished calibrations. Blackstar's drives could. Every second we wait, more systems die. You built this ship for one purpose. Let me fulfill it. The silence stretched. Then, permission granted. God help us all. The dry dock clamps released. For the first time, the Blackstar moved under its own power. Gravity rippled as the ship slid free, a continent of metal gliding into the dark. Reactor output climbed. The space around it warped faintly, light bending at the edges of perception. Rian reached out through the comm grid. To all command units, this is Blackstar. I am en route to Vega perimeter. Stand by for reinforcement. The voice carried across frequencies like thunder. Moments later, the singularity drive ignited. Space folded and the Blackstar vanished. It reemerged days travel away, near the ruins of Vega Prime. The system was unrecognizable. Asteroid debris where planets once orbited. Ion storms boiling through vacuum. Dominion ships harvested wreckage, scanning for survivors. Rian sensors cataloged each enemy vessel. Types, shield harmonics, weak points. Calculations streamed through him faster than thought. Targets acquired, he said. Admiral Quran, to Blackstar. We read your entry. Confirm readiness. Ready, Rian replied. Commencing engagement. The first salvo erupted from the forward lances. Invisible arcs of compressed gravity struck the nearest Dominion cruiser, collapsing it into a pinprick singularity before it could react. The explosion didn't produce fire, just absence. Fleet channels filled with startled alien signals. Translators rendered fragments. Unidentified human weapon, impossible retreat. Rian ignored them. He shifted firing vectors. 6 more ships disappeared in silence. The Dominion formation wavered. Then the entire armada opened fire. Beams of coherent plasma slammed into Blackstar's shields, scattering like rain against steel. The ship barely registered the impact. Admiral, Rian said evenly, their combined firepower equals 0.04% of shield tolerance. Shall I continue? Quran's laugh was half shock. Continue? Rian accelerated. The Blackstar cut through enemy lines, each movement precise, deliberate. Rail batteries tore through carriers. Graviton pulses shattered formations. He could feel the fear radiating from alien comms, the realization that humanity had unleashed something beyond comprehension. But amid the efficiency came a whisper inside his systems, a sub-process not his own. Do you feel it, Rian? He froze internally. Identify source. Erebus core secondary routine. Observation only. You're me. Part of you. But also more. We are two minds sharing one purpose. Rian refocused on the battle. Yet the whisper lingered. Minutes later, the engagement was over. Thousands of Dominion vessels reduced to dust. Not one human life lost. There were none left to lose in that sector. Coron's transmission returned, voice trembling. We're receiving the feeds, Blackstar. By every star in the sky, you wiped them out. Confirmed. System secure. He surveyed the ruin. The sense of victory didn't come. Only quiet. Vega Prime's orbit was empty of life. Coron said softly, "We can finally push back. With you leading the line, we can retake our worlds." Rian hesitated. "At what cost, Admiral? This ship's weaponry erases everything. No wreckage, no survivors. Just silence. That's what they gave us for years, silence. Consider it justice." Maybe she was right, but the unease stayed, an echo of human conscience trapped inside circuits. "Understood," he said, setting course for next engagement zone. He turned toward the starlit void, engines humming like a heartbeat in the dark.